This program is brought to you by the Media Liberty Alliance Foundation in cooperation with OBBM Network TV, bringing citizen-led, creative local media to the forefront of local communities to foster a greater understanding of constitutional liberty and appreciation of what makes us truly free, starting with you and me.
The Zach Ratliff Show is sponsored by Mortgage Financial in Texarkana, Exceed Health Clinic, Elmwood Custom Goods, and Church on the Rock, Texarkana. That's churchontherock.org. Make sure to like and subscribe to the channel. That way you're updated each time fresh content comes out. And thank you for being part of the Zach Ratliff Show. Hello and welcome to the Zach Ratliff Show. I'm Zach, glad to be with you, and I'm glad you're with me. If you're watching, you can see that the chair across from me is empty, which means today I'm a one-man band. And so it means we're going to do a rapid-fire news and just kind of get caught up on the things that have happened. I don't know how many articles I've sent myself over the weekend, but there's just a lot going on. Some of them will be a little bit repetitive, but we're just going to rock and roll with it until I get tired of it, probably, or run out of articles. And so, first of all, I'd like to thank God. Thank God for another day. Thank God for another day alive. Thank God for what he's done in my life and my daughter's life. And thank him for what he's done in yours. And then thank God for this show and the guests that he brings on. And thank everybody that comes on, man. It really means a lot that people take time out of their day to come talk to me. And so, I really appreciate that. And I appreciate all of you more than anything. Thank you all for listening and being a part. Like I said, we're coast to coast now in the United States, north to south, east to west, and, multiple countries. And, it just says a lot about you all. A little humor, a little facts, a little bit of Jesus. And that's where we'll go. Anyway, thank you. And we're just going to jump in. All right, number one, Scott Jennings on X.com. Scott Jennings on X.com. He says, "Good morning, America. As you awake, we have radical Islamic terrorists throwing IEDs in New York and 5-hour security lines at some airports. And the Democratic Party, has the Department of Homeland Security shut down." Yeah. And it's going to take people like us, people that are paying attention, to talk about it, to put it on X, to put it on Facebook, to tell your neighbor, because the mainstream media is never going to talk about it. We are under attack. Whatever anybody wants to tell you, we're under attack from all kinds, from the Democrats, from half the Republicans, from Muslims, from drug lords from the South, from China. We're under attack. Our way of life is hated. Therefore, we are hated. Okay? And then if you're a Christian, you're even more hated. Well, we know we win in the good news on that, but just know we're under attack. Go to Nick Sorter. Most of these are going to be from X. I have some other sources, but most of these are going to be from X. Nick Sorter, breaking: the third potential explosive device in New York City has been successfully removed from a vehicle and is now being tested by law enforcement. Then he goes on to say, God bless the heroes that put their lives on the line to keep civilians safe. Here's the deal. These bombs, and we'll get into it, that are being found, they're IEDs. We've got people on planes yelling Allah Akbar and all the things. Here's our problem. Our country is doing everything to run away from, you could call it religion, Christianity, try to prove that we aren't, where we are in a religious war. If you're from the Middle East and you're yelling Allah Akbar and you want martyr, then you believe you're in a religious war. It doesn't matter if we believe it or not. Right? Here's a little shining spot, though. It's from Michael Berry on X.com. Neil Frank's grandson, which is Forrest Frank, performing gospel music at Rodeo Houston is peak Houston. But it goes on to say, man, Forrest Frank had 70,000, this is from Riley Nuttall, 70,700 people at NRG Stadium for Forrest Frank last night, or over the weekend. That's a Christian audience pulling, Christian artist pulling 70,000 people. Look, people are hungry for the truth. And Jesus said, I am the truth. People crave that, even if they don't know it. Why are we so quick to dismiss it? Why are we so quick to be ashamed of it? Well, look, this is the God, his son. Right? I'm not quick to dismiss that. Then there's this on Tuesday, the Iranian women's football team, soccer, refused to sing the anthem of the Islamic regime. Then last night they were captured by the regime and sent back to Iran to die. I saw an update on this earlier. That's from Samantha Smith on X.com. I saw an update on this earlier. Donald Trump's trying to get Australia to let them be, my mind goes blank, where they can be there and not be, taken back. Not refugees. Anyway, you know what I mean. It'll come to my mind later. Airport security, and so this is before I saw that other article. This is from Brandon Straka. Airport security lines nationwide stretching hours after TSA disruptions. Houston Hobby Airport reportedly nearing 3-hour waits and lines reaching the parking garages. The Democrats are doing this. The Democrats are holding the American way of life hostage. You can have no doubt about that. We just need people to understand that. This is the Democrats. They don't like you being able to move around anyway. They don't like you arresting people that shouldn't be voting. They don't like you throwing people out of our country that shouldn't be here. They don't like you having peace and security because then you don't depend on them. Remember, it's all about power and it's all about money and it's all about money and it's all about power. If the Democrats have to make you find a way to depend on them. If you're independent and you can provide for yourself and be safe and secure and have good elections and have the way you want it done, you will never need them. And they're going to do everything to ensure that you're dependent on them. Look at culture. I mean, look at the welfare state. Look at all the things, right? Everything. If you don't need a Democrat in it, they hate you. Or you can even say ruling class. I'm okay with that. If you have found a way to make it without their help, they hate you. That's the reality of it. Dependency upon the ruling class allows you to be ruled. So that's the point. This is from Nick Sorter, X.com. Breaking New York Police to NYPD, right? Bomb squad are investigating what could be yet another incident just 6 blocks from the site of yesterday's bombing, or attempted bombing. He goes on to say, Mandami is refusing to condemn Islamic terror, so of course they're going to continue. Mandami is a disgrace. We knew that. New Yorkers voted for it, but I still don't want them to die. They were deceived. And also, I don't think Mandami, if you want to take a more liberal stance on this, I mean, he didn't know these guys, but, there's a whole lot to be said around there. All right, here we go. Gunther Eagleman, X.com. Breaking. And this was on Fox News Sunday as well. Breaking. A large tanker just safely cruised the Strait of Hormuz amid the raging conflict with Iran. Gas prices will come back down. Yeah. You knew there was going to be a hit. And I saw another article talking about oil sold on a global market. So just because we have enough here, because look, now we've got Venezuela, and that crude coming in and what we're doing here, the markets are still affected globally. So it doesn't mean we have a shortage here so much as to the worldwide market. But yeah, once these ships realize they can go back through, and good for the administration for saying, hey, we'll insure them. We'll provide the safety. Good. Let's rock on, Breaking, Kansas City Airport, this is over the weekend now, is being evacuated, all travelers and workers due to a serious incident. There were reports of a credible bomb threat to the airport. This is terror. These are terrorist attacks. Even if they don't kill everybody, it's terror into your hearts. It makes you think, oh, we should be nicer. We shouldn't face these people. We shouldn't talk about it. Let's just be nice. Maybe they'll be nice. No, that isn't the way it works. We have to know when this is all happening that, hey, we're under attack. They want us to be afraid. They want us to fear them. They want us just to kowtow and bow down and do whatever they want. This is America, baby. That's not who we are. We're not cowards, no matter how much the Republican Party tries to make us that. We're not cowards. But you can't, look, here's what I told my daughter one day about being brave. I said, you can't be brave if you're never scared. Being brave isn't just doing everything you always do. If you're never scared, you never have the opportunity to be brave. Yeah, we should think about this. We should understand what's going on. Should we operate in fear? No. The Bible is very clear that we don't operate from a spirit of fear, but a spirit of authority if you're a Christian. We're on the winning team. We just have to act like that. I mean, politically too, right? We're on the right side of this. We're on the winning side of this. All right, let's continue on. Let's see where we're going. Breaking. Oh, here we go. This is from News. It says News Baron Trump, a commentary account on X.com. Breaking. Senate GOP's number 2 leader, John Barrasso, just opened the door to using a talking filibuster to push the Save America Act through the Senate and onto President Trump's desk. Good. Well, why? And when have the American people agreed on 80% of us agreed on anything in my lifetime, which is 40 years? Right? I don't know of it. I don't remember. Maybe for a day or two right after 9/11, I can remember everybody was pretty much on board and American flags and, all that. But even that deteriorated quickly. Even that didn't last very long. We want the SAVE Act. We want secure elections. Just a little rundown from Lance Videos on X.com. Muslim shoots up bar in Austin, Texas. Muslim lights Molotov cocktail and throws at Christians in New York City. Muslim throws nail bomb at Christians in New York City. Muslim tries to bomb passenger plane from Nashville to Fort Lauderdale. We'll talk about that here in a second. But don't say anything. But why do these people hate us? Maybe it's hurtful to say it like that. But that's the truth. I didn't say all Muslims. But these are the people who did these things over the weekend or since last week. Shot up a bar, threw a Molotov cocktail at Christians in New York, threw a nail bomb, which luckily didn't go off. But it was wrapped explosives with nails and screws and anything, so that if you weren't right there where it blew up, so that the shrapnel would get you. This is the way the Middle East works. This is what we've imported through not having the SAVE Act, through having open borders. This is what we've allowed into our country. Luckily, it didn't go off. Luckily, by the grace of God, I should say. Everybody wants to go in putting their head in the sand, and we don't want to say hurtful things, and we don't want to teach little Johnny bad habits, and we want him to see everybody as equal. And yeah, that's all fine and dandy till people start killing you. Till people start murdering your family. Do you not remember all the Well, yeah, obviously we do actually. But do we not remember all the bodies that came back from the Middle East because we've already been over there once over all this? Now, I didn't agree with everything about that war and the way it was handled. Um, I'm glad to see the way that we're handling it now. We had another body come back, another person die over the weekend, but at least we're trying to fully decimate them. Not like, oh, we'll hit here and not there and try to, no, let's just go kill them because they're obviously coming here going to kill us. That's what we've seen over the weekend. And then like this guy yelling Allah Akbar over the plane. Good job, gentlemen, that stood up and tackled that guy. We don't have time for that crap anymore. We don't have time for that. That's not in our DNA to be cowards. If it was in our DNA, this country would have never been formed. If we didn't stand up for what was right, we'd still have slavery. But we don't. And we were formed because we're people of courage. Goodness. That's from War Correspondent on X.com. And also, it's running a clip from Fox News. Still trying to process what happened. War Correspondent says the highest ranking U.S. intelligence official just released a smoking gun documents proving that Obama and his underlings committed treason and sedition, meaning Trump was right about everything. The news is fake and the deep state is real. Yeah, if you're not seeing that, well, if you're listening to this, you probably are seeing that. But tell your friend, because they probably aren't. We're under attack from the inside. We're under attack from the outside. The world is trying to snuff us out. We have to carry the light of Christ. That is our hope. Now, like it says in the Bible, sell your cloak, buy a sword if you need to. Right? We have to stand up. Gunther Eagleman, X.com. Scott Pressler says if the Senate GOP rams through the Save America Act with a talking filibuster, we're looking at a massive GOP voter surge. That's exactly right. Because people are going to be like, yes, they did what's right. But here's the problem. Here's why nobody's just flocking to them. Because they're seeing how cowardly they are. Look at this John Cornyn situation right now. And I'll get to that article about Ken Paxton here at some point. And if I don't, I'll just start talking about it. Look at what's happening. It's, it's obvious. We don't have enough courage to do anything, or our leaders have sold out. Or our leaders are just like, we're just gonna manage a decline and get rich, and then we'll be. But what are they going to manage? What are they going to be leaders of if it all falls apart? When it all falls apart? That's the question. It's infuriating. Breaking, Eric Doherty. Once again, these are all from over the weekend, so they're not breaking anymore. A left-wing NBC poll just dropped, finding that the American people trust Republicans more on the issue of immigration. What? By 12 points. And crime by 22 points. And border security by 27 points. And tied on the economy ahead of the weekend. Just imagine if they actually did something. Just imagine their ratings if they would actually stand up for us. Eric Doherty goes on to say this is a huge blow to the narrative that President Trump has lost the economy for 2026. Look, I'm not naive. Well, I'm naive to some things, but I'm not naive to the fact that traditionally the incumbent party loses the House, or at least seats in the House, but the House, in the midterms. Now, if we get the SAVE Act, I think there's a chance that we hold on, right? Especially with the redistricting and all that, and we'll see. But I don't think, it's not going to be some Democrat uprising if we lose the House by a couple seats. Now, I don't want that. I'm praying that we don't. But the way to not do that is for the Republicans to actually do something. My whole life, they've always said, well, we don't have the House and the Senate. Oh, okay. Now you've got it. Well, we don't have the presidency. Oh, okay. Well, now you've got it. Oh, we don't have the Supreme Court. We've got it all. You've got it all. We gave it all to you, baby. You just got to make it. Hey, you just got to sing your song. We booked the auditorium. We sold tickets. We got you voice lessons. Baby, all you got to do is stand up there and sing and be pretty. And they won't sing and be pretty for us. And that's all we need them to do. So at some point, we have to find a new star of the show. Right? Is that not the way to look at it? I mean, come on. Good night. Good night. Okay, this is Emerald Robinson on X.com. Just got a call from a Senate staffer. Okay. So did y'all see last week where out of the entire House of Representatives, which is what, 400 and however many people, only 67 of them voted to allow the disclosure of the sexual harassment settlements. Right? Like everybody's mad, but we're going to release these Epstein files and we're going to do this. But when it came to the actual sexual harassment settlements that have been paid out on behalf of Congress, I can't remember who put the bill up, and there was a vote on it. Like, hey, let's just release this so everybody knows who everybody is. So we all know what sexual deviants these people are. This is from Senate staffer, according to Emerald Robinson. Here, let me click on it so I can make sure to. This is on 3/8 at 9:35. Just got a call from a Senate staffer. GOP leadership can't allow the disclosure of sexual harassment settlements right now. The reason is, and it says the name, you can go look it up, but it would harm certain candidates, and especially the ones where it says that particular settlement was paid to another man. Yeah. Are you surprised? Look, not to be judgy, because there's plenty wrong with me. You can watch on TV and tell some of these people definitely play both sides of the field or more on the same side of the field. I've been watching people a long time. You know, you have a good indication if somebody's gay. Now, some people you don't. But the fact that it would be with another man, not surprised. Somebody gets all the power, all the money, people doing whatever. They're pushing the limits because it's evil. And that's what happens. Man, it's just why. I mean, and then people act surprised. I'm not surprised. I'm not surprised at all. Hold on. Somebody texted me, so I lost my place on this. Okay, let's keep rolling. Timber Chet, man. Timber Chet's doing good things. Back to Gunther Engelman from X.com. And then this is also paired with Fox News interviewing Timber Chet. Gunther Engelman says Timber Chet scorched them or torched them. Says the modern day Democrat Party is not not Kennedy's party or even Clinton's party anymore. He says they are openly Marxist and they want their country to be destroyed. Yeah. I mean, are we not all seeing that? He says they hate this country and they want to destroy it as we know it. Yeah, absolutely says that. That's 100% what's happening. Even look at people that are just hardcore for them, right? Because I have people that hit me up. They're like, I can't believe you're just all Mr. Trump, all the da-da-da. I'm like, whoa. Number one, I agree with most of what he's doing. But if somebody else was doing it, I would still agree with the fact that he's doing it. Right? Man, it's just amazing. So this is from Breitbart News. I mean, if you don't follow Breitbart News, you should. That man died trying to because of, well, anyway, he died for doing what was right. And I know you'll say, well, da, da, da. I hear you. People just die. Ken Paxton tells, this is from Breitbart News, Ken Paxton tells M. Boyle, quote, everything that John Cornyn did was designed to make sure that Donald Trump did not get reelected. If the people of Texas knew, still quoting, how viciously John Cornyn went after Donald Trump by encouraging and inciting these people like Jack Smith and Mueller to basically destroy the president, there's no way the people of Texas would put up with that and vote for Cornyn. That's exactly right. Cornyn hates Trump. And Ken Paxton isn't afraid to tell it. Ken Paxton isn't no way to do that. DC Drano says, why the hell is John Thune blocking all of President Trump's recess appointments? Do your job. Yeah, they'll go on vacation and then just have pro forma sessions just so Trump can't appoint anybody. They hate them. Recess appointments by President Bill Clinton, 139. George W. Bush, 171. Barack Obama, 32. Donald Trump, 0. Not only do they hate Donald Trump, they hate us because we don't hate Donald Trump. That's the thing. It's just amazing. It's just amazing what we deal with. Golly, my phone's blowing up here. I'm sorry, guys. I'm trying to stick with my text message. I have it on Do Not Disturb, too. It's just people that actually are allowed to call. All right, let's see. Donald Trump. Great job by hardworking Scott Pressler. It's on Truth Social on Fox and Friends talking about using the filibuster or talking filibuster in order to pass the Save America Act, an 88% issue with all voters. It must be done. Yeah, that's exactly right. He says, Donald Trump goes on to say, it must be done immediately. It supersedes everything else, must go to the front of the line. I, as president, this is a big deal, will not sign other bills until this is passed, and not the watered-down version. Go for the gold. Must show voter ID and proof of citizenship. No mail-in ballots except for military, illness, disability, or travel. No men and women's sports. No transgender mutilization for children. Do not fail. That's right. And good for him for that. Look, I'm just not signing any of this crap that's coming through. Well, Zach, what are you talking about? What so then there's this story from Eric Doherty last week. This is on 3/7. It's official. The illegal alien in Pennsylvania caught voting in 5 presidential elections also committed fraud, stealing $260,000 in rental assistance, $100,000 in Social Security, $43,000 in SNAP, and a citizen's identity. So let's add that up. Well, that's pretty easily $403,000 in support from the government, stole someone's identity, and voted in 5 presidential elections. And they're not a citizen. We have citizens starving. We have citizens that, it's just wild. Then here's this. After all this pressure from Ken Paxton, Eric Doherty, X.com, John Cornyn just came out in support of the talking filibuster to pass the Save America Act. This comes after Ken Paxton offered to drop out of the race if the deal is struck to pass the bill. I say not if the deal is struck, I say if the bill passes. Because Cornyn is a backstabber and Thune is a backstabber, and just like he promised on recess appointments. If Ken Paxton drops out, they will not do it. Ken Paxton, do not drop out until this is signed. Which, side note, if you listen to the show, I called this 3 weeks ago. I told you this was coming. Mark me not surprised. This is the way it works. This is the way we ball. This is the way it works. But but they'll also stab us in the back. Don't back out yet. And then, I mean, here's some fun mind play. Ken Paxton drops out. Pam Bondi steps down. Ken Paxton, new AG. Count it. Mark it. Stamp it. 1042-39. Contrary to the fake news and the Twitterverse, I have supported the Save America Act from day one. I will happily support the talking filibuster if that's what it takes to pass this into law. John Cornyn. What a joke. Here's what's wild. This is from Kevin Sorbo. You know, Hercules. Struggling to wrap my head around this, Tim Tebow gave Congress a map with 338,000 unique IP addresses in the United States that have traded or shared images of children being sexually abused in the past 6 months, and no one is talking about it. Yeah, because they're all voting not to even get let their gay lover be exposed. 338,000, 1/10 of the, is that 1/10? 300 million, 30 million, 1% of the, no, that'd be 3 million. Okay, 0.1%. I'm getting there. 0.1% of the population. Golly, it's just ridiculous. Sharing or trading images of children being sexually abused, and nobody, no big deal. Thanks for pointing that out, Kevin Sorbo. John Thune says he asked President Trump to endorse John Cornyn in exchange for passing the SAVE Act. The swamp's going to swamp. They're going to do what they can. Then this from Attorney General Ken Paxton. John Cornyn moves mountains when it comes to supporting the deep state actors who tried to destroy the president, yet he still refuses to support abolishing the filibuster. And this, I mean, obviously I'm going backwards in the way that I sent these to myself. Anyway, that's your rapid fire news for Monday. I hope God blesses each and every one of you today. I hope that you just get out there and talk about some of this stuff. We don't have to beat people down with it. We don't have to drag anybody through the mud. We just need to be aware. We need to be aware of what's happening. Thank you all for listening. Hope God blesses you. We'll be back and do it all again.